great-grandmother had been here for 10 years, yet spoke no English. Oh, my gosh. 1930 census says Tommy's 3 times great-grandmother had been here for 41 years and still spoke German. She didn't speak English either. She doesn't even know her own history. She certainly doesn't know this country's history.
Fox News contributor Tomi Lahren is here to respond to that. So, Tomi, what led to that bashing on The View?
That's Tomi Lahren responding to attacks on her ancestry from Sunny Hostin on The View in a clip that's been making the rounds on social media due to a recent discovery in Sunny's own colorful background. Welcome to Nerk News, I'm Nerkish. Today we're going to take a few minutes to break down this clip and see if Tomi's defense actually holds up. Nah, I'm just kidding. We're gonna watch her roast Sunny Hostin and the insane women on The View.
Really, what she did is prove that my family came here legally, but what she was hoping to do was try to call me a hypocrite for believing in merit-based immigration. Again, she failed miserably, but this really isn't what she calls resistance genealogy. It's just another indication of Trump derangement syndrome. They don't seem to understand that we on the right believe in immigration. We understand that we are a nation of immigrants, and I am proud of my heritage. However, I do believe that the immigration crisis of today is apples to oranges from what it was in the 1800s when immigrants came to this country legally, were documented, worked for themselves, asked for nothing, and built a life and a family. That has nothing to do with the illegal immigration crisis of today that we must deal with. But they don't want to acknowledge that.
Elite, wealthy liberals like the ladies on The View don't understand the average American's concern with immigration. To them, they just represent a cheap and friendly servant class, which I'm sure Sunny Hostin's family is probably used to. I mean, you remember when Kelly Osbourne put her foot in her mouth for asking Trump who was going to clean his toilets if he sends all the illegals away? They're so detached from regular people, it's like they're in the Hunger Games. You know, they paint conservatives as xenophobic monsters who just want everyone to speak American because they don't have to compete with these people for resources. And they sure as heck don't have to deal with any of the externalities associated with open borders.
But every nation has the right to enforce their border. Every nation has a right to protect its citizens. I've said it before. You don't lock your door because you hate the people outside. You lock it because you believe in protecting the people inside. That is why we have a border. But the left would rather us have open borders.
She's absolutely correct here. You know, they think going back 200 years and showing that your great-grandma came from Europe is a big gotcha. But like Tomi said, those things aren't even comparable. I mean, look at these numbers. The rate of immigration is significantly higher now than it was back then. Not to mention the fact that we didn't have a welfare state or entitlement programs for them to drain. Countries like Venezuela weren't actively emptying prisons and asylums to send them all here. And most importantly, the immigrants back then wanted to assimilate. It didn't have anything to do with race. It was easier for them to do because they were from Europe. It's much harder for someone from Asia or Middle East or a third world country to assimilate to Western values than it is for somebody from a Western country. And on top of that, it's much harder for them to get here. Now they just take flights, which, come to think of it, might resolve itself soon due to all the issues with the FAA. But let me know what you think. Does having immigrant grandparents make you a hypocrite if you're against open borders? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That stuff really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Thanks for watching.